This is Tashana, and you are tuned in to Talks with Tashana. And today is a special episode where I'll be interviewing myself. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Give our viewers a bit of information about yourself, who you are. My name is Tashana, and I am a woman who loves God deeply. I am passionate about encouraging others, especially single mothers, to rise above challenges, just to strengthen them, help them, and to walk in purpose. I am a creative, so I love to write. I love dancing prophetically. I sing here and there, and I dabble in a bit of this, a bit of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I'm also a mother of 3 handsome boys. So that's a little bit about me. Please tell us about your journey to the Lord and what was your experience like. I grew up knowing about God. My mum always took me to church from when I was a little girl, back in Jamaica. I grew up knowing God, but not fully knowing Him, like truly coming to Him and submitting to Him. That happened when I was 17. And my journey is an interesting one. My journey is an interesting one where I've fallen so many times, but I've gotten back up by the grace of the Lord and the mercies of God. But my journey is an interesting one. So I got saved when I was 17, officially, and I honestly would say I journeyed. I was longing for Christ for a very long time. There was voids that needed to be filled, that I would have filled my voids through men, through sex. And I got to that point of realizing that these things is not going to fill that void that I'm missing. Only Jesus Christ can fill that void that is empty and that I'm desperately longing for. That love, that care, that compassion is only found in Him. Only He can care for me. Only He can love me. Only He can heal those parts of me that I didn't even know was broken. And that was the start of my journey in Christ, where I had to sacrifice a relationship that I was in to serve Christ, to get to know Him truly, to truly commit and give Him my life, to surrender it all and lay it down. My first sacrifice was my partner at the time. And now that I'm saying it, it's so funny. The thing that I was using to fill the void is the thing that I gave up for the thing to fill the void. But that is a short version of my journey to the Lord. How has your relationship with Christ evolved since becoming a mother? Ooh, that's a good one. Becoming a mother completely shifted my relationship with Christ. It made me more dependent on Him, not just for myself, but for my boys. And I began to see God not only as my father, but as my children's father, as their provider, as their protector, like completely my source. And anyone that asks me today, oh, like, who is God, like, to you, like to your children? And I'll always say, like, God is my children's father. I always say God is my children's father. Even if my children's fathers fall short of their role of being their fathers, I know that God will never fall short. He will always be there. He will never fail them. He's with them 24/7. He's watching over them. He's their guide. He's their protector. And I always teach my children, if they need anything, first go to God. I teach them from young. Go to God before you go to man. Go to God before you go to friend. Motherhood, it's brought parts of me. It's brought out parts of me that I didn't know existed. I would say strength, being vulnerable, and a much deeper level of love. Because even the vulnerability part, many people don't want to be vulnerable before their children, but I tend to be vulnerable before mine, because I want them to know that I am human and that I am going to go through things, and that in life they too will go through things, and there is ways to handle those things, those challenges. So I'm transparent and vulnerable when it comes to certain things. Not everything, certain things. Yeah. But I've also seen how much grace I need when it comes to being a mother. And not even just that, also how much patience. I've learned that I need patience. I've learned that I need patience. And I don't want my children to hear about Jesus. I want them to know him through me, through how I live, through how I speak, through how I love, through how I lead, through how I overcome things, through how my experiences and what I go through. And I just want them to see Christ in me and through my life. I don't just want them to go out there and just be led astray. Yeah, I don't want them to hear about Jesus, but I want them to see Jesus in me through my life, through everything that I do, through even the things that are in secret that I don't show anyone else, or that no one else sees, because obviously I live with them, so they will see these parts of me that no one else gets to see. So yeah, I want them to see Jesus in everything. Motherhood has deepened my trust in God's timing, in God's provision, because there'll be days where I'll be low financially, and out of nowhere someone will call me or they will message me and they will say, Tashana, what's your bank details? Or Tashana, I'm going to send you this. Or they will just bless me in ways that I needed. Like, I never lacked anything. That's one thing I can say. Motherhood has deepened my trust in God's provision and timing for everything, that nothing is out of time, like when it comes to God, that God's always on time. And it's helped me to trust God even with my finances, that even if I don't get paid, that he's gonna provide. There was a time where I was going through a battle with my workplace due to finances, due to my salary, and they didn't pay me the correct amount, and I had to survive off of little to nothing. And that's when I knew Jehovah Jireh, my provider. That's how I knew he is a provider, and he sustained me. Where money was coming from, I don't even know. How, when he says he will give you more than enough, I had more than enough during that time of not receiving the correct salary. I didn't even worry, because I don't trust in or put my trust in my salary. I put my trust in God, because he is my source. He is my provider. And that season was very hard for me, but I had to learn to trust in God. And in the end, it all turned around and worked for my good. God wiped everything, and it all worked for my good. What's the most surprising thing you've learned about yourself since becoming a mother? The most surprising thing that I've learned about myself since becoming a mother is how resilient I am. Yeah. How resilient I really am. Yeah, because there have been days I felt like I had nothing left to give. Yet somehow, by God's grace, I kept going. I've discovered a strength in me that only surfaced through motherhood. Like, seriously, a strength to love deeper, to fight harder, and to keep showing up even when it's hard. I've also learned how much, I truly need God in every moment. Not just for guidance, but for emotional and spiritual strength. I really cannot do anything without Christ. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, literally. Becoming a mother has taught me that I cannot do nothing in my own strength. That I literally have to rely on Christ. There's times where I'll be in the bed and I have no energy. I have no form of strength to get up out that bed to go and make breakfast. Yeah. For myself, not even for myself, let alone the kids. I don't have the strength. I don't have it. It's like the strength surged from somewhere, and that strength helped me to get out of the bed that day to make the breakfast for the kids. There's times where I just don't have the energy. I just don't. I don't have the time, not the time, but the push, the drive to get up. Honestly, I can't even explain it, but it's literally God. It's literally God that helps me through day-to-day, for my day-to-day life, living, especially with the kids. It's God. It's God. Because I even have moments sometimes where I'm like, I can't do this. This is hard. I want to give up. But God really keeps me. Truly, he really keeps me. He keeps me so much that sometimes I don't even realize the ways that he keeps me. There's times where, I don't have the energy to do things, but he pushes me. He gets me up. One way or another, he gets me up to go and do it. There's times where I want to give up, but I look at my children And I say, I can't give up. There's things that needs to be birthed through them with the help of me. God gave me them for a reason. He didn't give them to any other mother or any other woman, I should say. He gave and trusted me with those boys. And I have to stay here with the help of God and ensure they birth every single thing that the Lord has deposited in them. There's times when the enemy will try to put suicidal thoughts in my head. And I have to shut down that lie. I have to shut down those thoughts, and I have to go before God and say, God, I am here for a purpose. I'm here for a reason. I'm not here just for me. And then I will look and I will say, they say, you can't really trust anyone like that to look after your kids. Like, people won't look after your kids the way you will look after your kids. Does that make sense? And these are the things that run through my head as well. Like, no one won't love my children as much as I love them, because I'm the one that went through the pain to birth them into this world. I know how many hours I sat on that delivery bed. I know every inch of what I went through to get them here. So no one ain't gonna sacrifice or love the way that I do. And these are the things that keeps me. So I've learned a lot about myself from becoming a mother. That I truly depend on God, honestly, for everything, in everything, especially when it comes to my children. How has prayer impacted your life during your most difficult seasons? Prayer has been a lifeline during the most difficult seasons of my life. It's where I cried. It's where I surrendered, found peace when nothing made sense. In moments when I obviously felt overwhelmed, alone, or not even sure what to do. Prayer reminded me that I wasn't facing things alone, that God is with me, that, yeah, He's with me. It shifted my perspective, and it gave me strength. And not even just that, prayer, there's times where I'll be so overwhelmed and don't have anything to say, there's no words that I could utter. And I will just go before Him, and I will sit there, and I will just let the tears roll from my eyes, because I have no words. Or there'll be times where I'll go before Him and I'll sit and I will just pray in tongues, because He makes intercession on our behalf, right? I will just pray in tongues because I don't have no words. I don't have nothing to say. Like, I'm just so overwhelmed. I'm just so flabbergasted. Like, I don't have anything to say. Like, I literally just sit there. I would either cry, because tears are a form of praise. Tears are a form of prayer. And I will sit before Him and I will just cry. And remember, He collects our tears as well in the jar. He collects our tears. And that will be, honestly, one form of my prayer before Him. Just crying. Just crying. Because I know He hears me. Whether if my words are coming out of my mouth, or if I'm speaking in my heart or praying in my heart, I know He hears me. Prayer is very impactful for me, because even just sitting in God's presence alone, It's kept me grounded. And it just reminded me that God is always near, no matter what I go through. Prayer, honestly, keeps me and my children. Prayer gives me peace. Prayer helps me to be a better mother. Praying just helps me in knowing how to grow my children, how to train them, how to teach them, what to teach them. Because when I pray, I receive a download. There's times when I'll go to God in prayer and the Holy Spirit will tell me, play this with them today, or read this with them today, or do this game today, or tell your son this today. And that thing that he would tell me to say to my son really needed to hear that thing. So prayer helps in ways that I didn't realize sometimes. And it really gives you guidance. Prayer, when you pray to God, he gives you guidance on how to raise and train your children in the best way. Because remember, he knows our children before we ever did. He knew us from in our mother's womb. So he knows the you know what I'm saying. I'm hearing the word, but it's not coming out of my mouth. Yeah, he knows those parts and those details about us that no one else knows. He knows all those things about us. That when it comes to our children, he knows these things that he can tell us. He can whisper it in our ears and say, your child likes this, or he wants this, or they want this. So it's good to pray and go before God, because he knows them better than we know them. He even knows us better than we know ourselves. He knows even the hairs on the amount of hairs that we have on our head. So when it comes to prayer, I really take it seriously when it comes to God and prayer, because that's how I learn to love my children and grow with them and teach them and learn patience. How do you deal with being burnt out and still having to show up as a mum? Because we know it never stops. When I'm feeling burnt out, but knowing that I still have to show up as a mother, I lean on God's grace, literally. On God's grace, and obtain grace for myself, because, baby, it's not okay. And I'm learning that it's okay not to be okay. As in, like, we're not going to have it all together. We're not going to always have it all together. And on those hard days, I try to simplify, like, literally, and just rest. Like, when people ask me, oh, what do you rest? Like, it's really important. Like, if I am not myself, or if I'm not my best self, I can't be great for my kids. I can't show up in the way that my kids need me to show up. So I need to rest. And just ensure that I go before God and I say, God, I can't do this without you. Like, I invite him into all that needs done. Like, God, I can't do this without you. I need help with this child. I need help with this child, because, baby, they trying to drive me crazy. They trying to drive me crazy, Lord. And I just have to remind myself that, like, strength doesn't come from me, right? My strength doesn't come from me. It comes from God. And I have to remind myself that it comes from Jesus Christ. And sometimes it means letting the house stay messy. Yes, I said it. Letting the house stay messy. I know cleanliness is native godliness, but sometimes as a mum, you can't be bothered. There's no strength. There's no energy. Like, sometimes order takeout. You can't cook. You're feeling tired that day. Order something to eat. Treat yourselves. And just spend that time with your children. Sit down, have a movie, a night, and just unwind, relax. Like, when I'm truly feeling burnt out, I just rest. In God. Rest. Go sleep. And I prioritize nap time. I'm sorry, I do. I prioritize nap time. It's very important. And I don't care what anyone has to say about that. Okay? Okay. But yes, rest. If you take anything from what I just said, rest. How has being a mother shaped your perspective on marriage or choosing a partner? That's a good question. I think for me, one way how motherhood has now shaped my perspective on when it comes to choosing a partner, I look for someone that is stability, that's a spiritual leader, that they can lead well. They can lead me and my children well. Not just in the things of God, but in life. I need someone who not only loves me, but who loves God. But not just love God, but loves my children like their own. Someone that will pour into them. Someone that will pour into me. And yeah, someone who understands purpose, the value of family. Someone who can cover us in prayer. Because I need someone that's prayerful, especially for the things that I would have to do. Yeah. But yeah, someone who I can build with, grow with, and leave a legacy with. So those are some of the things that I look for. Someone who I can truly trust to lead me and my children. Who will put God at the center. Who will go to God before going to friends, family, or anyone. To be honest, I don't want a man that will go to their family members, friends, and whoever else and be talking about our marriage, and our relationship. Like, if that man is going to do that, it has to be like our spiritual leader or someone that we can trust, that one person or one or two people who we can trust, because it's not even anyone that we should invite into our space. Because I can go through things with my partner, right? And I will forgive the partner. But if I go in and tell my family member the things that my partner did, my family, they won't forgive my partner for those things that I've shared with them that my partner has done or did. So it has to be someone that's not biased, that is not going to judge my partner, and is not going to hold them of those things that they've done. So we have to be so careful with the things that we share with our family members, because they don't forgive and they don't forget. Even if it may look like they're forgiven or forgotten, they haven't. They are going to start treating our partners a certain way that we're not going to like. And we can't even blame them because we're the one that opened our big gobs and told them these things. So when it comes to choosing my partner, there's different things now that I look for. There's different things that I look for. And that man definitely has to love my children. Because you've seen stories where a man will have his own children and he will bring food for his own children and forget your own children. I don't want that. But those are the things that I look for. Someone that can love me and my children. And yeah, that Ephesians 5 man. One that will sacrifice and lay down his life for me. And yeah, like Christ did. So yeah, that's some of what I look for. Can't tell you everything, because then you got too much pretenders out there, right? What has been your greatest parenting challenge and how did you get through it? One of my greatest parenting challenge has been balancing everything, honestly. Trying to be emotionally present for my children. Trying to be spiritually strong. And still trying to find time for myself. Because if you know, as a mum, you hardly get time for yourself. You hardly get time to unwind. You hardly get time to rest, because being a mother, it's 24/7. It's like they say, it's a job that you don't get to rest. It's a job that is ongoing. It's a job where many people won't even sign up for. Honestly, it's a job that doesn't even bloody pay you. But it's a blessing. But my greatest challenge, there have been moments where I can only say that I've felt overwhelmed, questioning myself, questioning if I'm doing things right, if I'm doing enough. But what got me through was leaning on God and just being honest, being transparent, and also learning to ask for help. Many of us struggle to ask for help, and that's something that I sometimes struggle with, asking for help. And I honestly have to say, I thank God for my support system. I thank God for my family, because my family, especially my mum, she has helped me tremendously, and I honor that woman and I respect her, even though she gets on my nerves sometimes. But I truly love that woman. She really helps me with my kids. And trust me, if I could buy her a house, actually, one day I'm gonna buy her a house. But I really honor her and love her, because she truly is a form of backbone for me when it comes to my kids. Like, But yeah, I always have to remind myself that I'm not a perfect parent, I'm not a perfect parent, but I am the perfect parent for my boys. Like I mentioned before, that God has chosen me to be the mother for my boys. He didn't choose anyone else. He chose me. I have to learn that I have to trust God in areas that I can't control, in situations that I can't control. Like, for example, one of the greatest challenges that I had to face when it comes to my children is like dealing with children on a spectrum. It's difficult. It's not easy. And I don't even want to claim this thing. But dealing with children on a spectrum, I honestly have to lean on God, because it is the most challenging thing a mother or anyone can deal with. Being challenged by your child on a daily basis, being challenged in their behavior, in the tantrums, and especially bedtime. When it comes to bedtime and the back and forth with the horrible tantrums when it comes to bedtime, and the fighting and the kicking of the door. Listen, I go through it sometimes, but I don't speak about these things. But in the midst of those challenges, I honestly have to lean on Christ. I have to lean on God, because if I don't, I will just sit there and cry, because it's not easy. And if you have children that are on the spectrum, you understand the constant having to remind them what to do, because they're forgetful, and it's a lot. But there's different areas and there's different things and challenges that I go through with my children that I thank God for being in my life, that I serve him and that I have him in my life. Because sometimes I wonder, those people that don't have Jesus, how do they get through it? How do they get on? How do they carry on? Most of them commit suicide, and that's the sad part. But I just thank God that I have him and I chose him, and he chose me. Being a mother is not easy. We face challenges every day. Whether that be a child going through something at school. Sometimes my children go through things at school that I have to deal with. I'm just like, it can be a lot, but God is good, and he's still sitting on his throne. And that the Holy Spirit literally just brought to my remembrance is sometimes I find it hard to take my children to the park. And because I would have one that doesn't want to go to the park, that rather stays inside. I have one that when I go to the park, there's no leaving the park. No matter how tired this child gets, he ain't trying to leave. So to get him to leave, it's embarrassing. It's very challenging. And I don't like embarrassment. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't like embarrassment. I don't like to be embarrassed. And it's a challenge to get that child. It's a challenge to get my son. I don't know why I'm saying that child. It's challenging to get my son out of the park. So when someone asks me, oh, why don't you take your children to the park? I do take them to the park. But when I know I have the strength or the energy to deal with what's going to come with trying to leave that park, if I don't have the energy or the strength, I ain't trying to go. I don't care how hot it is outside. I'd rather go to the back garden or the front garden. To the park? No. Or I find activities in the house to do. Or we could play some games. But I have to literally mentally prepare myself for certain things when it comes to my children. Honestly, I have to be mentally ready for what I'm going to experience or to expect when it comes to my children. It's not easy. But like I said, I thank God for strength. I thank God for being in my life, because it's not easy. Especially being a single mother, it's not easy. But again, God still sits on his throne and he looks low. How do you handle the tension between the pressures of motherhood and staying grounded in God, in God's purpose for you? Motherhood comes with so many demands. Like, if you're a mother, you know this. Like, it comes with a lot of demands. And I honestly just have to remind myself that first, my identity is not just being a mum. And it's being also a daughter of the King, of the Most High God. And I had to be like intentional about having quiet moments to pray, worship, or just be still. But I also have to remember that even being a mother is ministry. Being a mother is my ministry. And I have to teach and train my children in the way of the Lord. So when they get older, they don't depart from these things. And there's times where I want to go pray or worship or just be still before God. And I invite my children into the midst of these things. I teach them how to do these things. So if I can't do it in my own time, I invite them into it. Because sometimes I don't get any moment to do it myself. Or it will be at night, late at night, where I will take that time out and spend time with God and have time with him myself. And I just have to, and I ask God to help me see purpose, even in the little things, even in the everyday task of motherhood. Because like I said, motherhood is ministry. Being a mother is ministry. And when I align my role as a mother with his calling for my life, it becomes so much easier to walk out with his grace in this area. And many may find it challenging because we don't merge the two together. When we look at it as ministry in itself, it becomes easier. When we look at it as ministry, it becomes easier. It just flows. We don't struggle. Because even in my household with my kids, there's times where I would set like 5 minutes just to worship God, where I'll just put on the TV, worship. And I'll say, come, all of you, come. We are going to worship. Even the baby, we're going to worship. And there's times where I would do my daily affirmations with them, where I'll use these cards that I got from Philly and Friends, and I will use these affirmations with them that they will repeat after me, because I've learned that these affirmations, they're not just for the kids, they also help me. When I read them and I ask them to recite it back to me, even the baby, even though he can't really talk properly, I tell him to come and join just so he feels a part and that he can see, because the children, they learn from seeing practically what you're doing. And you'll see the videos on the internet of people teaching their children how to worship, and or you'll see their children worshiping and they're lifting up their hands and they're like, where did they learn that from? It's because they learn through observation. Children learn through observation. They learn through sight. They learn through seeing. They learn through observation. So that's what I try to do when it comes to my kids, even when I don't get to pray with them or whatever. Like my oldest son, like there's a time when he was like, Mom, you pray a lot. And I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? He's like, I hear you at nighttime praying. I'm like, I thought you were sleeping. He's like, no, I hear you. And it's touching that he's hearing me, because in return, or in response to that, he said to me, Mom, I pray as well. I talk to God as well. And it's refreshing to hear that, because again, children learn through observation. Even when I thought he won't ever listen to me, even when I thought he was sleeping, he's hearing me. So it just shows that he sees that even when I may not be doing things for them to see, I'm doing things behind the scene or in secret. So, yeah. As we are rounding up, is there any advice you'd like to give to any mothers or anyone that's going through a hard time that is watching? Anyone that's watching that's going through a hard time right now, I just want you to know that God sees, God knows what you're going through, and that you're not alone. Even in the moments when you feel like you're invisible or like no one understands what you're going through, don't be afraid to cry out to him. Even if all you can say is help, there is strength in surrender, and there's power in just showing up one day at a time. Like, honestly, give yourself grace. It's not easy. Give yourself grace. You don't have to be perfect. Just present. I repeat, you don't have to be perfect. Just present. And remember, some of your greatest growth is happening in secret, in hiding, in quiet places. And just keep holding on. Like, God is faithful, and whatever you're going through, it's just a season, and it will not last forever. It will pass. This too shall pass. It's not going to be forever, and I know it may feel like forever, but it's not forever. So keep holding on to God, and know that he sees. He is El Roy, the God that sees. So he sees everything that you're facing, everything that you're going through, the parts and the things that you don't want to share with someone else. He sees those things. He knows those things. So I urge you today to go and sit before him and speak with him. Get a notepad, get a pen, and write to him. Write to him. Write letters to him, expressing how you're feeling in that moment, how you're feeling during that season, during that heartache, during that pain, during that financial difficulty, during that work problem. Write it all down. During motherhood, how being a mother is affecting you in ways that you can't even explain to someone else. Write it all down. He cares for you. He truly do. So I encourage you to know that God loves you. He sees you and he understands. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching if you've gotten this far. And I hope what was shared has encouraged you, blessed you in one way or the other. And this is Talks with Tishana. Be blessed. See you another time. Be blessed.